The plan is moving along synced and smooth for our 53 Chevy. Power, check. Seats, check. Now, checking clearances and cuts will hopefully be more about testing than torment.
Classic's 53 Chevy has a kicking engine and a serious transmission. All it needs now is some sheet metal and a chassis underneath it. Yeah, this moves easy.
We removed the front clip. We used some Clecos to keep the position of the truck in line. So when we go to reassemble the truck, it'll all fall back together in place. So we only had about 10 bolts to take off of the front end, was just to remove the whole clip as one whole unit. And that way we can work in there comfortably.
Getting extra hands to help move large components isn't always easy. The front clip will need to come off and on several times during a build. We find offering free lunches seems to attract a large enough crowd.
So we got the engine and the tranny mated together, and we got the cherry picker. We started to use the load leveler. We started attaching it to the block, but one thing that we overlooked, we didn't have the correct engine bolts. So luckily we caught that. We got the correct bolts in place, and we were able to lift the engine off of the stand and get it into the engine bay. It was a little tricky because the angle, even though we used the load leveler, it was kind of hitting on the back of the toe board slightly. So when it came down to drop it in, the fuel pump was slightly in the way, and we had a little bit of clearance problems there. We decided to remove the engine mounts. The fuel pump also had to come off so we can get everything shifted in the proper location before we got the bolts back in.
The pump's plumbing location created clearance problems, so a quick fix was needed.
Fuel pump, it just had a couple Torx head screws on the bottom, and we were able to rotate it into a position where it would clear the side frame of the chassis, and we were able to use it that way. That way we wouldn't have any problems for clearance.
Of course, popping off the pump meant trashing a gasket, and having a backup paid off and saved time. While fuel fixes wrap up, the steering column is quickly slid back into position to see if it has any clearance problems that need to be dealt with.
Jason and Steve took the I Did It column and installed it as we had previously done before. They lined it all up the same way.
We know its position in the cab is good, but we've never run the linkage over to the transmission. Plus, Jason has never had the chance to pretend that he was driving, and it's only fair that he gets a turn too.
We decided to work on the pedals assembly for the accelerator and for the brake. We had to go ahead and get the accelerator pedal mounted where we wanted it, so we knew that where we can drill our holes for the cable to come through the firewall. And as far as the brake pedal, we had to cut a hole in the firewall for the brake pedal assembly to come through. Drilling the holes is the easy part when it comes to mounting pedals. However, it's making sure they're in the right location can be sometimes take a little extra time.
Taking a nap on the creeper adds even more time to the job.
Well, you know, I'm pretty set with this. I mean, the gas pedal is really all I need.
Pa-dum-pa. And don't forget to tip your waitress.
Oh, I'm just taking some measurements. I'm gonna have to make a bracket for the throttle cable. We ran into a problem where we didn't have the proper bracket, so we decided to use a piece of square tubing, and we fabricated a small little bracket that you would normally use in this type of an application. It was just basically a square bracket. We cut a 90-degree angle into it. We did a couple little shapes onto it, or radius the edges, and drilled a couple holes into it, and welded a small little tab to keep it from shifting on the carburetor.
Edgar's welding skills would be put to good use today, as minor modifications were also needed to change the angle of the brake pedal arm. With the drivetrain set and key components clear of obstruction, the front clip could go back to where it lives, until we need to take it off again, and again, and again.